Alright, welcome to Jim's Guitar Garage. In this episode, we are going to be reviewing these new ZS10 Pro in-ear monitors. Alright, welcome to Jim's Guitar Garage. In this episode, we are going to be reviewing these new ZS10 Pro in-ear monitors that just came out. And we also purchased a storage box. And we are going to be comparing those to my Westone UM30 Pros that I paid $400 for several years ago. So let's get started. Start with the little carrying case or the box that it came in. And I got this on Amazon for, I believe it was about $10. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. And it's kind of a reddish, burnt orange color, I guess. Got some padding inside, so let's compare that to the Westone, which this one I have had, said, for about 3 years now. So they both look about the same size. Yeah, if you put them side by side on top of each other, whatever, they're about the same. This appears to have a little lanyard hole the same as this. It looks like it's pretty much, if you look at it, it's pretty much an exact copy of the Westone. It has the little loop here to either put a D-ring through it or a loop. And got a little bit of padding in here. This is kind of a harder foam. This is definitely a lot softer. As far as latching, it's kind of weak. This one pops open real easy. That one has a nice snap to it, and it's quite a bit harder to open. So you're not going to have, with this case, I believe you're not going to have it, popping open on you inside your gig bag or whatever. Okay, so let's move on to, so I definitely would recommend this. I'm not sure what the cost is of that. Yeah, this thing just, there's no effort at all to just pop it open. Okay, so let's move on to the big deal for this video. Move that to the side. These are the new ZS10 Pro, as I mentioned in the promo earlier. The older ones don't have this little, polished aluminum or titanium or whatever this is on the outside. So this is a fairly new model. It's only come out in the last few months. Alright, so let's get this thing opened. And I've heard a lot of good reviews about these, whether it's the older, not the newer ones as much, but the older version of this, and the I believe it's called the KZ. Okay, so simply slide it open. Hopefully you guys can see that. Here we go, a little correction on the light. So very, very highly polished covers. I believe that is aluminum. And not a bad little case here. A little package that it comes in. So we're just going to pull this thing out. So you have your user guide, how to adjust the sensitivity, how to insert the in-ear monitors, your typical stuff. Let me go ahead and close this. And then some stuff, hopefully, most of you can read that. And then we have a couple different size earpieces in here. And these look like they're all silicone. Yeah, I don't feel any foam on. So this comes only with silicone pads. Okay, let's go ahead and pop this off. We'll pop these out. So these don't come actually together. You're gonna have to put them together. So we'll go ahead and push this out. So I ordered the purple ones because I didn't think anybody had a purplish, and it's actually kind of a reddish purple. So this is what it looks like, the part that goes in your ear. And then once again, that's what the outside looks like. Pretty flashy, but not too much. I mean, I've seen some of these guys with these crazy designs on theirs. One of the things I liked about these is it's actually, and hopefully you guys can make that out, is it's actually reinforced at these two pins right here. There's a plastic piece that goes around it. Let's see if you guys can make that out. And helps to reinforce it. So let's check out our cable. And then we're going to compare this, as I said, always to the WS10s. I mean the the UM30 Pros. Okay, so we've got a nice little cable here. It's got a little cord keeper kind of thing here. One of the things I do like about this is it's nice and lightweight. It feels almost like those Fender cables with a wrap around it. Those braided guitar cables. Kind of has that same feeling. Okay, let's pull this off. So it looks fairly long. It's definitely long enough to wear in your thing. I usually put my connector and hook it up to the cable in my back pocket, so it definitely looks like it's long enough for that. So this is another important thing that I look for when I'm looking for them, is that they have some kind of overwrap on here where it's formed to go around your ear and it's not, you know, all loose and floppy. One of the things I do notice about this that I do not like, to be honest, is there's no keeper to slide up the top, unless I'm missing it. Yep, I don't see one here. I will check to see if it's in the packet. So you're basically going to connect these, and I have to see if there is a certain way. I don't know if this will go in either one, or if it's set up for left and right. And it only goes in one way. Let's look at it under the magnifying light here. Hopefully this isn't washing everything out too bad. Let me go ahead and try and correct for that. There we go. All right. So it doesn't appear to matter. There we go. So there we go. That's nice and seated on there, nice and tight. Nice, good, positive, you know, kind of snap or click when it goes in. Okay, let's try not to break them, Jim, on the first try. There we go. Okay, so very, very nice. One of the things that I got to mention is I got these on Amazon for, I believe it was $48 and then $10 for the case. The Westone case, I believe these ones, they were selling, I know, for at least $30. So you're talking, you know, 3 times more money for, you know, basically virtually the exact same case, except like I said, this thing just kind of pops right open. So just got to be careful in your bag. All right, so let's compare them to my almost 4-year-old Westone UM30 Pro. So these. Oh, hello! I forgot to cover one of the most important things about this. These are a 5-driver in-ear monitor. So one of the things I want to do after this is I'm gonna put these next to my lapel mic, and we're gonna see if we can pick up the sound and see if there's a huge sound difference. We'll kind of compare it, playing the same song. So these are a 5-driver. These were $48. Now they might go up because they just came out, so that's possible. So keep an eye out, and if you want to get them for pretty cheap, I would get them now, because the older models, and even the I believe it's the AZ10s that have the 5 drivers, they're not shaped like this. They don't have the same polished cover here. Those used to be going for about $70. Now these UM30 Pros from Westone, like I said, I've had these for about 4 years. The reason why I bought these KZs was because the other week I went to take them out, and the cover in my right ear, the whole cover actually just popped off. I guess the glue, after all these years and me pulling it out, it separated, and the cover dropped on the floor behind the stage. And luckily I was able to find it. I happen to have foam ear tips on this. I usually use the I usually actually use those, but I just switched to these for the last couple weeks to try them out. So these have 3 drivers. So there's a a bass, middle, and treble. This has, I believe it's 1 main driver, which would be your main speaker, and then there's, I believe, 2 mids and 2 lows, but I'll double check on that. And it might even say in here, but I will put that in the notes below and send you a link inside the description. Let's see if it has it on the back, because this rating is super small. Nope, there is no information on the cover itself. Okay, it says 1 dynamic and 4 armature. So the dynamic, that would be like your main speaker, and then you have the 4 armature, so that's going to be where it's separated into the different frequency drivers. So I'm excited to actually hear these in my ears. Okay, so the cable, let's go ahead and check this out. I guess we'll try and compare them in length. You guys probably won't be able to catch all of this because some of this is, I'm sure, is going to be off camera. I just want to see how they compare in length. Okay, so they appear to be the same length, or very, very close. We'll basically call that a tie. So one of the things I like about this is actually way closer. So if you put your monitors, we'll put the monitors right next to each other. This is right here. You can see it in the screenshot. The other one is actually outside of the screenshot, so it's further down. This has a keeper, which this is the keeper right here. So this you can slide up. Once you put them in, you slide this up, and when they're spread out like this, it really doesn't move. So you can see it, once you put tension on it, it doesn't move. And this will help keep it nice and tight against your ear so it doesn't accidentally pop out. And you can easily put something on this, but I don't understand why they don't just throw a keeper on this cable. Because if you look right here, there's going to be a lot of tension on this. This one is kind of has a little bit, looks like it has a little bit more support here. Alright, and this has the same form-fitted thing that goes over your ear. These are very small, so we'll go ahead and compare these side by side. You can see there's quite a big size difference. So I don't know how comfortable this is going to be in my ear. And from this side, well, let's look at it from here. You can see these are going to stick out a lot more from my ear because they're quite a bit larger. And these are super lightweight, and this has got a lot more weight to it because of that aluminum face. I guess that's pretty much it for the differences. And these also will not take the same cable. So this cable is actually a round cable, so it's got an outer, and then it's actually got a pin inside. Let me, if I can pop this off. So hopefully you guys can see that. Let's go ahead and So it's round with a, with a pin in the middle. Whoops. I go kicking the camera. So this simply just plugs in like that. Let's adjust for that white balance. There we go. All right, so I definitely would say that the cable on the Westone for me is a winner. As far as size and lightweight, this definitely is going to be a lot more comfortable for, if you're playing for several hours with in-ear monitors. Those will probably be more comfortable, but we'll find out more about that when I actually put these in. So now let's do a quick sound test. Be right back as I set up for that, and then we'll see. Well, actually, we'll hear what we can hear, not see what we can hear. All right, so we'll be right back. We'll start with the Westone UM30 Pros first. Okay, and I tried to pick a song. That had a lot of, dynamic. All right, now we're going to try the ZS10 Pros. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, so I'm sure that you guys will hear that a lot better than I did out here, but we're going to go ahead and check the video and we'll see how it sounds. And let me know what you think. Let me know which one you think sounded better. Obviously, it's going to sound a lot different in your ears, so I'm going to go ahead and listen to them myself in my ears off camera, and then I will give you my opinion. All right, so I listened to both in-ear monitors, the same music that you guys listen to, obviously a little bit longer clip. First impressions, I guess number one, the box for the Westone definitely wins. The KZ one is obviously a copy. The cable for the Westone, to me, is definitely wins. Although the other cable is really nice and it definitely feels secure in my ears. Doesn't feel like they're going to fall out. I will also post some pictures that I took of the monitor actually in my ear and what that looks like. For comfort and fit, I would definitely give the Westone the win on that. If you'll see in the picture, if it's more deeper, if it's deeper into my ear and it, feels a lot more comfortable. There is several different adapters, and I just use the standard ones that were on there, but they seem to fit my ear perfectly. But I would say the Westones are a little bit more comfortable. As far as sound quality, I would definitely give it to the KZ10. The highs were a little bit more crisp, and the lows were more pronounced, but it wasn't to the point where it was a bass heavy. I would definitely not consider it a bass heavy inner monitor by any means. The bass was just there, and it was just more prevalent, and you could feel it a little bit more. As far as longevity, we will have to find out. I've had those those Westone. Once again, I'll put a link to it below, but I believe it was the UM30 Pros. They were $400 when I bought them. They came out with a second model, so I believe those new models. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I believe they're selling for about $269, somewhere in the 270s, I guess. So quite a big price reduction. But once again, case and the IEMs for those KZ Z10 Pros was about $58. So, longevity wise, if those Westones have lasted me over 3 years, if I have to go through 5 pairs of the KZ Z10 Pros, I've basically equaled what I paid for, or what you would pay now for those same inner monitors. So definitely take that into account. If you're looking for something just to listen to music in, and you want something that is not going to be real expensive and definitely sounds better than that, those other brands out there, that are selling for $20 at Walmart, spend the $48 and get the KZ Z10 Pros. I would definitely say that after putting the KZ Z10 Pros in first and then putting in my Westones, that the Westones definitely seem more muffled, and it wasn't as crisp and clear, and that comes from having those extra 2 drivers. Having those extra 2 drivers, you're able to break those frequencies up into the different drivers, and it comes across a lot more crisp, which is one of the reasons that some of these professionals are using 10 and 12 drivers, and spending $1,000 or more easily on their their inner monitors. But if you want a good cheap set, I would definitely recommend the ZM10 Pros. I'm going to try them this weekend, and then if I have any other additional comments, I'll put them in the description below. So check the description below for any any links if you're interested in buying these, or the case. You can always buy the Westone case, keep the KZ10s in it. I'm even thinking of, just on that KZ10 one, just putting a little piece of tape where it clips on, and then that should help kind of take up some of that space, so it'll lock nice and tight. So that's another thing you could always consider. But once again, as always, thank you for watching. Aloha, I appreciate it. Out from Jim's Guitar Garage.